Hello and welcome to the 74th episode of Downtime Podcast, featuring Jeremy and Alyssa. Unfortunately, this week Alyssa is out, so I'll be helming today's podcast. And with me is a very special guest, my girlfriend Mayu. Hello, Mayu.
Hi, everyone.
Today we're going to talk about video games, what we're playing. We have a question from a user, but before that, what are we playing right now? What are you playing? What kind of games do you play?
Right now? Well, actually, not just me, but like I always play with Jeremy. We play Switch.
Yep.
Switch. And I used to play 3DS.
Okay, but like right now we're playing Mario Party, Mario Party on Nintendo Switch.
And then sometimes Mario Kart.
Yep, we also have not Super Mario Kart. We have Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
And we play that, but lately Super Mario Party just came out. So we've been playing every match in the co-op space, which is a lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
I think we'll do the river one today since we finished the co-op ones, right?
Okay.
Unless you want to do the co-op one, we can do the first level of the co-op one again and do 15 turns because we know what to do now.
Yeah, true. We can give it a try.
Yeah. So we've been playing that, and you've been playing on your phone.
Yeah.
What game?
Like Google Map?
That's not a game. That's not a game.
I'm just kidding. I'm playing like Animal Crossing. Like, what's the name for
Pocket Camp?
Yeah, Pocket Camp.
What's the Japanese name?
It's the same, Pocket Camp.
Oh, it's all... Oh, okay.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with that name.
Oh.
I don't remember. I always just call it like Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's very addictive.
What level are you?
I'm finally 57.
So what's the highest level you could be?
I have no idea, but like, do you remember your friend? He hit 100. So I'm pretty sure there's more than 100. Yeah.
Maybe 999?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know how long it takes though.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta play every day. Shout out to Matthew, by the way, for playing almost every day.
Yeah.
He loves Animal Crossing, probably more than I do, and everything Nintendo. So, props to him for being 100, over 100.
I mean, he can't hit 100 if he doesn't play every day.
It's true. You gotta play every day. If you don't play every day, then what's the point of having the game in the first place on your phone?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So you've been playing that. Anything else you've been playing aside from those three things? They're all Nintendo games, which is kind of funny.
Actually, I don't know any like other games for Nintendo.
Okay.
I mean, like other Nintendo. What do you mean? Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know any games like Sega or like other.
But you're not playing any of those games right now.
No.
Right? Okay.
It's just 3.
Yeah. On my end, as you know, Mayu, I've been playing Yakuza Kiwami 2, or as it's known in Japanese, Ryuga Gotoku.
Yeah,
and
he always play the game.
Not if I'm playing Switch with you, then I'm obviously not playing that game.
Yeah. But like other than Switch.
Yes, other than Switch, yeah. That's actually the only game that I'm playing right now. I'm pretty far in the story.
And he's very into it.
I am. What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
I am into it, actually.
No, I just want to make a point that this game is great.
It is a great game. The story's good. The characters are good. I have no qualms to say. When Alyssa comes back, she and I are going to divulge a bit into where we are in the game. But right now...
Wait, does she play it as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I kind of got her into that series.
Oh.
So last year... Ryuga Gotoku Yakuza 0 came out, and 0 was like the very first game in the whole series. And I started playing it because I saw that someone else is playing it on YouTube, and I was like, oh my god, this game is actually a lot of fun, and I became so obsessed with that game. Every day after work, I could not wait to play that game. And then I told Alyssa about it, and I was like, Alyssa, like, you have to play this game. This game is like the best action RPG game / Japanese game I've ever played. And she's like, okay. And then she got it for her birthday.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh my god, you're right. I'm like, yep. And then I would have to thank that game for like helping us jumpstart this podcast, because without that game, we would probably have almost nothing to talk about. I mean, there are a bunch of other games, but our obsession for Yakuza is grounded from this podcast as well. So
no, that makes sense.
Or this podcast is grounded from our obsession with Yakuza. So yeah, I mean, it's been a fun ride. So I have to give credit to the Yakuza series for giving us always giving us material to talk about with this podcast. But again, I'm just playing Ryuga Gotoku 0 or Kiwami 2. So
cool.
It's fun. It's fun so far. But as you saw, and I'll sometimes give the controller to you, and you'll beat up guys.
Yeah, it's actually really fun beating up the Yakuza people in the game. Actually, I only play that. I don't really care about the storyline because it's really long. It's super long. But yeah, it's very fun beating. Yeah. Because I can do it in real life.
You know, you're you're punching all the guys.
No, I can't do that. You can use the bench, you can use the bicycle, whatever it's there.
Just like Jackie Chan. Like Jackie Chan.
Exactly.
What are those guys called in Japanese? Chinpira? Right?
Chinpira.
What does that mean?
Chinpira is less than Yakuza.
Low?
Low.
Low level Yakuza?
Yeah.
Oh. But are those the guys that roll their R's and kick people Kono yaro!
Yeah.
Kono yaro! Those they talk like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's really similar to the real life.
Can you give me an example of how Yakuza talk to each other?
Oh my god.
I want to hear it.
No, I don't know.
You have to squat down with your cigarette?
Yeah, squat down.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll hear it one day.
Yeah, one day. One day, maybe.
Yeah.
That would be interesting because I have Kansai accent, luckily.
Yeah,
so that
you do.
Makes more, spice on it.
Yeah, you'll be meaner is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right. So other than what we're playing, let's talk about you. Sure. Where you from? Where you grew up? Your history with video games? What the first game you played was? I know this is a lot of questions, but
yeah, I tried to remember now.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Start from the beginning. We'll just start from the beginning.
Okay, sure. So where I'm from? So I'm from Brazil. I'm just kidding. I'm from Japan.
Why would you say that?
I just came up with Brazil now.
Why Brazil? Okay.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm from Japan, and I grew up in Shiga Prefecture, which is next to Kyoto, which is Kansai area. And yeah, the game that I've played, is it right?
Yeah. Okay. What's the first video game you ever played? Do you remember?
Does the little game console count?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
Then it should go Playboy Advance. Do you know the long one? The vertical long one?
The Game Boy?
Yeah, the Game Boy.
You said Playboy. I was like, what?
Oh, sorry. It's Game Boy.
Game Boy. Okay. Yeah. Is it gray?
Yeah, the gray.
Oh, wow. You started way before me.
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was exploring in my dad's office out of my home. And he always had a bunch of stuff, snacks. And then when I was a kid, I loved sneaking in his room and then find the snacks and eat it. But one day when I sneak in, I found the Game Boy.
Wow.
And then there's the game in it. So I was I start playing. Which sounds like a really simple game. It's do you know shogi? Wait, Japanese Japanese chess?
Yeah.
Japanese chess game.
Uh-huh.
It was in it, and I was playing it, but I was too little to understand the rule. But it's kind of fun. It was very fun, and I started playing.
How do I just imagine you holding it? How do I jump? Where's the guns? Exactly. Where's the enemies?
Exactly. I I just play around, and I found it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
And then after that, the Advance, this long one.
Oh, Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, that one showed up. And then my sister got one.
Okay.
But I couldn't get one because I was too little. So she's got one and she started playing and I looking at her playing and I got so jealous and I stole that and
stole it?
Yeah,
wow.
let me play.
Wow.
And then the first game that I played with the Game Boy Advance was Hamtaro. Does anyone really familiar with the character?
Let us know if you played Hamtaro on the Game Boy Advance because I owned a Hamtaro game.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that Hamtaro game.
Yeah, it's so fun. Just find the characters and it's so fun. I was so obsessed with it. And then after that, it was SB. like the square one.
Oh, Game Boy Advance SP?
Yeah, SP.
You had that?
So I got SP for my Christmas present.
What?
For myself, and I was so proud of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
And then I got another. Yeah, I got like Hamutaro Olympic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the game?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played like Hamutaro Olympic.
I wanted
And
that
it was
one.
so good. Yeah, it's very funny that like actually never played Pokemon, even though I grew up in Japan.
Yep.
I mean, I watch Pokemon anime and I
Yep.
ate Pokemon bread, but I never played the game. And then when I get a SB, I got a cover, like a little bag for it.
Yep.
And it's also Pokemon. And then I put the seal on my SP,
Oh.
the little character from Pokemon, but I never played Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm like, that's weird. I always play like Hamutaro.
Yeah.
Hamutaro. Well, after the SP,
Yes.
I left Nintendo and then I got PS4. Wait, PS2?
I was like,
think
wait.
it's PS2.
It gotta be PS2 because
Sorry.
PS4 came out like 5 years ago.
Okay, so maybe PS2 because it was like black
Yep.
one.
Sleek and longer.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like a building almost.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I got
Yep.
that one for the Christmas present. I actually wanted a GameCube because
Oh.
like it came out at the same time.
Yep.
But I didn't know how fun the GameCube was. And then right before the Christmas, I went to my friend's place and then we played the Mario Party with the GameCube.
Oh.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I went back home and ran to my parents and said, Dad, Mom, I want a GameCube for Christmas present from Santa. And they're like, no.
Oh.
I don't think it's too late. Like, they think it's too late. I'm like, okay. And then I stick with the PS2. And, you know, as everyone knows, PlayStation doesn't have Animal Crossing.
Nope.
Or, like, Mario's. So, well, it was okay with that because I had a more fun game, which is called, like, Taiko no Tatsuji. Do you know, like, when you go to game arcade in Japan, it's have a huge taiko. Like,
Oh,
drum.
yeah.
They have
Oh,
one
yeah.
for the PS2.
Oh.
Yeah, I played that one. That was very fun too. I was very like into it. Yeah, I played that a lot, and I had like some weird games like for the PS2. I mean, for like Monopoly. They have Monopoly. Yeah, they have Monopoly
they have
in the
Monopoly.
PS2.
That's right.
Yeah, but I remember it was like I always played that Taiko no Tatsujin, the drum game, and it was fun. And after that, PS2, Wii came up.
Yep.
And I got Wii.
You got a Wii. Did you know that the Wii could play GameCube games?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it
What?
could. Yep.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. But anyways, I played. What did I play on the Wii? Mostly, do you know Wii Sports?
Yeah.
Like you can play tennis.
It's the game that came with it.
Oh yeah. I mostly play with that.
Yep.
And I should have something other games for Wii. Let me think about it.
It's okay.
I had a Wii Fit. Do you know Wii Fit?
Yeah. That was popular here.
Yeah, I play Wii Fit too. And wait. I didn't get Animal Crossing for that. Oh wait,
I didn't either.
I forgot to talk about DS.
You have the DSi.
I skipped
The big DS. Yeah, that
oh my god.
So was that after the PS2 or before the PS2?
I think it's after PS2, I remember. Yeah, I think it was after PS2.
Okay.
And I got DS. Actually, I follow all the DS.
Yeah.
I got for like very first DS, and I got next DS, which is like a light.
Yep.
I think it was light, and I got like a shiny one.
Okay.
The silver. I don't know how it's called. And then after that, I don't think everybody familiar with it, but like they have L, like the huge one, like
so you
enormous.
had the DS, the DS Lite, the DSi, right?
Yeah, DSi.
And then you had the DSiL.
Oh yeah, that
right?
one. Yeah,
because it has the camera.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you had 4?
Yeah. So the last, so the first one is for me and my sister, and then DS Lite is for me, and then DSiL, like I, is for me. I think it was my sister, and then my dad, and then for IL, it's for my mom. Yeah, so it's all like for my families.
That's awesome. You guys could have played Mario Kart together.
Yeah, totally.
That sounds cool. Like my parents bought us consoles, and if you could see in front of where we're recording, like some of them were handed down to us from our parents. Some of them we bought with our own money, and then some of them our parents bought us for like Christmas or birthday presents. Yeah. But they never bought us 4 of the same thing that we could all play together. It was either we all played together on one console or nothing at all. It was just my brother and I. So I think it's fun that how your family did that, because when I was growing up in high school, I met this guy. He was a junior when I was a sophomore, and he was telling me that whenever his family would buy a console, they would always make sure everyone in the family had enough so they could all play together.
Oh my god!
Like they didn't care how much it costed, as long as as everyone had one and it had fun, so that everyone was equal. And they loved video games. They would play video games all the time. And his biggest dream was that Pokemon would be real. Now, take this. He wasn't like the typical like Yu-Gi-Oh card nerd. This guy was like on the football team. He played he played every sport at our school, including video games. And I was like, wow, dude, that's crazy. I don't know what happened to him, but he was a really nice guy. He used to smile all the time, and we would talk about video games. And he was like, oh, I gotta go to football practice. I'm like, all right, see ya.
I don't know like how many hours he have in the day. I don't think it's more than 24 hours to complete everything, dude.
I don't know.
Maybe 36 hours for him.
Maybe he just didn't sleep and just played video games.
Yeah,
with his family.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what about American culture of video games? Is that like very popular to play with your family, or just like for the kids?
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely, it depends on the console too. So if you look at the marketing campaigns for like Sony versus Nintendo, Nintendo is trying to gear towards families, children, and with the Switch release, more like friends. Because if you notice in the Switch commercials, they always show like millennial, like 20-something-year-olds playing the games together. They never really show any kids. It's always like older people playing it together. And I think that's kind of the demographic they're going for. Like on your way to work, why don't you play some Switch games? Not really on the way to school. They imply that it should be on the way to work, or when you get to your office, you could play with your coworkers, all that stuff. But I mean, Sony doesn't really talk about that. Sony's more of the play by yourself or play online, Call of Duty, shoot people, stab things, stuff like that. So I think American culture is really grounded on online play, also competitive play, because the United States is huge on what's called esports, and esports is like when they have the huge arena and they have like the guys in the middle, like one team versus another team. They're all wearing headphones with computers in front of them, or a console or something, and they're playing against each other for like millions of dollars. But I just feel like personally, like the co-op games are dying. Co-op meaning like everyone's playing on the same screen. So like Mario Party, Mario Kart. I feel like Nintendo is owning that right now. Nintendo's all about playing together in the same room. Because recently Nintendo released their online service where you can play Mario Kart, Mario Party online with other people that are not in the room, but they still emphasize that you should play with people in the same room. That's what all the commercials were about. That's what Nintendo has always been about, is playing everything in one room. Because their consoles, most of the time, have always had like 4 controller ports. Like the Nintendo 64 allowed 4 people to play one game at once. The Wii, the GameCube, the Wii U, and now the Switch, because you can take off the controller and make it into 2 controllers. So I think it's really cool that American culture still has a little bit of the co-op gaming system in their blood, thanks to Japanese game makers. So I hope that gives you a clear answer on what that all means.
It's very interesting because like in Japan, like what I remember is that the game is for the families mostly, like play at home, and the kids play and the parent looking at it, and sometimes like parents play with it.
Yep, that's
together.
my parents. Yep.
Yeah, it's like more like for families. I never really know about like online playing. I didn't even know that exists until the Wi-Fi became really popular. Yep. Yeah, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, no, totally. Definitely, growing up, I was one of those kids because my brother Jordan and I would always play co-op games together. Our dad gave us like a really old Nintendo console. It's called the NES. It's the gray one in the middle there, underneath the Wii.
Oh yeah.
And it's he gave us that. That's an original one from the 80s.
Whoa.
And we would play all the co-op games that he gave us.
Oh.
Everything from like Mario Brothers, even though it's not co-op, but we took turns to like other shooting games, and it was fun. And we always played together. And ever since then, we've always bought consoles together in a sense. Like he would buy the console and we would share the games. I would buy a console and we would share the games, so on and so forth. So yeah, it was fun. It's
nice
fun to
relationship.
Yeah, I guess so. And now that we both have our own computers, we just play games together. Like last night, actually, when I was texting you last night, he and I were playing a game together.
Oh really?
At the same
I didn't
time.
know that.
I know. We were playing a game called Bigfoot. Do
Okay.
you know what Bigfoot is or who Bigfoot is?
Isn't it like
American creature, like hairy, tall guy. So there's a game. It's kind of a horror survival game,
okay.
and it's you and 3 other people survive in the woods, and we have to find Bigfoot and kill Bigfoot. And we spent 70 minutes playing that game.
Oh wow.
So the whole point of the game is to survive. You have to stay away from Bigfoot, and Bigfoot will come and attack you and pick you up and throw you. Yeah, it's really scary. He comes out of nowhere and starts screaming at you. Yeah, and roaring at you.
Wow.
So like you're just sitting there walking through the woods, right? And then you hear a roar like really close by. And you're like, "Where's that?" And then you're looking around, and then he comes out of nowhere and starts attacking you. And he's faster than you too.
Oh my god.
So while we were playing the game, Jordan shot him with a bullet that'll track where he goes, and then Bigfoot ran up into a mountain, and he got stuck there, and then we went up to his butt and just started shooting it, and then we won. So we kind of cheated unintentionally, but at the same time, like we completed the game.
Cool.
So
as long as you finished it, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, we've always been playing co-op games together on the computer, so I feel like the United States is still all about playing games by yourself, but also playing with others online. Like those are the two only things, like online or by yourself. Like that's because that's how the games are made.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of games that Sony makes that you can only play by yourself. You can't play multiplayer. But there's a lot of games on the PC that you can play with people online.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I was kind of surprised when I went to Japan and there's arcades everywhere.
Yeah.
And like Sega arcades. And I was like, holy crap, like Sega is still huge in their home country, which made me happy because right now, Sega died. And their console, the Sega Dreamcast was the last console they ever made. That's the
I
white
didn't
one.
know that they made any console.
There's 2 of them that we're sitting in front of. There's the Sega Genesis, which is technically I think their first one, and then the Sega Dreamcast, which is their last one.
Interesting. Only 2 they produced?
No. So they made the Sega Genesis, they made the Sega Saturn, they made the Sega CD, and then they made the Game Gear, which is like a kind of like a Game Boy competitor, but it didn't do really well. And then they made the Dreamcast, I believe, and then they died, and then they just made games. But they also used to make games in the city in San Francisco. They used to be based in San Francisco.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, whenever we would go to San Francisco when I was growing up, we would always pass by. I guess what area is that? Soma, Mission Bay, South Market. It's like. That area used to be where Sega headquarters was, and every time we drove by there, we would see the Sega logo. And like, oh look, there's Sega, and they stayed there until the very end of 2015 and 2016.
Wow, that's very recent.
Yeah, and then they moved down to Irvine.
Oh, okay.
Irvine is in Southern California, and that's where they do translations. So right now, they have an English translation team in Irvine that translates all the Ryuga Gotoku Yakuza games.
Interesting.
So all the games that I'm playing that you see on the PS4 are courtesy of Sega. Irvine, I guess. I think they're the only team that does localization. I'm not sure, but shout out to them for localizing awesome games.
Cool.
So I cut you off. Anyways, so you talked about what did you talk about?
I forgot.
So the
DS?
then PS2.
Oh, no. I remember that Yeah, how the American culture is about the video game.
Yeah. But that was your question. But before that, you were talking about your history of the game still.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2.
After PlayStation 2.
Was DS.
Uh-huh.
And there's a long history of DS. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of DS games then?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I
still
have
have
a lot. I still have it.
Okay.
I have like not just games, but they have like
internet software.
Oh no,
right?
no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like the software that you can watch TV on DS. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
We never got that.
Yeah, my dad got one and he started
Whoa.
watching it. But unfortunately, it's not available anymore.
Yeah, they stopped the service. I had a
Yeah.
feeling. Yep.
And then other game, it's not game as well, but like they have a lot of recipes of food, like
Interesting.
cooking. Yeah, we have that too.
Okay.
Yeah. There's like some my favorite games other than Super Mario Brothers or Mario Kart or Animal Crossing. But do you know like Yawarakata Majiku?
No.
It's like a guide that it's train your brain.
Oh,
You
it's
guys have it.
we do. It's called something brain, but the guy with the glasses. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I touched the mic. It's the guy with the glasses, right?
Yes.
But yeah, no, those are really good games for people trying to train their mind.
It was so good game. I played so hard.
Yeah.
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 It was so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah, back the time. And I had a lot of like study games too.
Study games.
Yep. I had like math, English.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
That's cool.
So I played a little bit of the English games when I was little.
Yeah.
And then when I go back to Japan during break last time, I found that game from the bunch of box.
What?
The game box in my house.
No
I was
way.
like, okay, I kind of want to give it a try. How good the score I can get. And then I used to be like F.
Oh.
So S is the best.
Okay.
And then it's A, double A, B, C, D, E, F. And F is the worst.
That's like the same ranking system in Yakuza.
Yeah.
It's very Japanese.
Yeah, so I used to get F.
Okay.
And when I played it last time, I got S.
Nice.
And I got full mark for any test
Nice.
in the game. So I was like, oh
Congratulations.
my god, I grown up now.
That's awesome. Like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, I feel like I did it so much. And I start playing my mom's, my dad's. Like they have like you can create like 4 other accounts
Okay.
in the English that game.
Yeah.
And everyone was pretty much F or E.
Oh.
I made everyone S. Yeah, it took me a while to do that, but yeah, once I did it, I felt so great.
Imagine someone like hacking into your game and seeing that, be like, oh my god, this whole family knows how to speak English perfectly in Japan. And you're like, actually.
Just me.
Yeah, right. That's funny.
Yeah, that was fun.
So after the DS phase, what happened?
After DS phase.
Yeah, tell me more.
I think so. The DS and the Wii was kind of the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, I think I kind of left from the game.
I see.
I became a bit busy about studying and traveling.
You studied abroad at some points.
Yeah,
and
at some point.
Yeah. And then you didn't have any game system. So in a sense, the DS was kind of the last one you had. But you said you had the Wii,
Yeah,
DS
I
and
think
Wii.
so.
Wow.
DS,
Okay.
Wii. I still had aware of the improvement of game console by like
Cool.
watching the TV because
Oh,
they
yeah.
always have like some like advertising, like commercial.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it looks fun, but like I don't have time to play and kind of stuff. And then once I came to the US, I was very surprised that so many people playing games.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's actually really interesting because in Japan, like if I know it's like really biased, but if anyone says, "Oh, I play games," it means nerd. Like he doesn't know how to speak socially, and he only knows is like he just play the game.
That's changed now, though. Like
Is it?
video games are socially acceptable. Like ever since you came here, I guess that your perception of that is based on movies, but
Yeah, maybe
for a long time it's always been not a long time. I'd say in recent years,
Yeah.
it's been socially acceptable, at least in California, in my tiny bubble, that playing games doesn't mean that you're a nerd or anything like that. Like after, like in high school, people talk about video games openly. They don't really care. That was like at the tail end of it. But before that, they're like, oh, why do you play so many video games? But then in middle school, everyone played Halo, and I was like, cool.
I mean, like in Japan, like if somebody said like, oh, I play video games.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's like, okay, I don't know what to talk about. But like when I came to the US, like somebody like say, oh, I have a work, but other than work, like at home, the spare time, he to play games. I'm like, I always like surprised.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
You don't look like playing games, like.
Yep.
It's very interesting because it's very different from Japan.
Well, now people are playing games on their phone, and so the people that say that they're not gamers, they're pretty much lying because you're still playing a game.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I don't play video games. I'm actually obsessed with Candy Crush right now. I'm like, that's a game, dude.
That sounds very familiar because my mom is the typical person like that. She loves Candy Crush and then Line Bubble. Like those games, like puzzle games, and she still says like I sometimes like said to her like, oh my god, my mom is like game nerd, and she's like, no, I'm not game nerd, I'm just like training my brain. I'm like, okay, but it's still,
you know what?
It's still game.
So when I beat up guys in Yakuza, does that mean I'm training my brain? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I mean, even though your mom may deny it, she is a gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, if she knows everything about those two games, like exactly where to put the line, exactly where to shoot the bubbles, exactly what kind of power up items you need, then. You're a gamer because I have no idea about any of those games. I don't know exactly what I have to do. I could be, if I pick that up and I did it wrong, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've never played this game before. But if she came in and helped me, I'm like, wow, you're a gamer mom. She'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm like, yeah, you are.
She is.
Yeah.
Like, every time when I'm with her, and then she always like play the game, even though I'm next to her. And then it sounds like a couple, but and I kind of get like kind of jealous. I'm like, okay, every time when I'm in the US, my mom always calls me, say like she misses me a lot. And once I go back to my home, she never talked to me because she's like very obsessed with her game.
Yeah.
I always try to distract her, or like I try to help her, but she always get mad. Like, don't touch it, don't touch it, ever touch it. I'm like, I'm trying to help you.
And then you leave, and then she's like, I miss you.
Like, whatever.
You're like, what? Play your game, mom.
Play the game.
Leave me alone. And while you're playing your game, like, leave me alone, mom.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's amazing. Like, every games that she have in her phone, like puzzles, like Candy Crush.
Yeah.
It's hits like 700, like more than 100. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's like 500. I'm like, every time when I go back my home, I always ask my mom, like, hey mom, where is your level? And then she says, oh, it's like 839. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Say 800. Yeah.
Wow. So, I guess you could say that your mom shares kind of the same passion that you do.
Yeah, probably.
And then, I mean, the fact that you guys have 4 DSs, it kind of adds on top of that.
Yeah.
And you kind of take after your mom by playing a mobile game. But the only mobile game you play is Animal Crossing.
Yep.
But you're pretty much in love with that game, so.
It's good game. When I'm waiting for the bus, or when I'm in the bus.
You don't play it all the time, right?
No, I just like play it like when I'm waiting for the bus, or like when I'm in the bus.
Or you keep mentioning the bus. You play it at home too, right? I've seen you play it here at my house.
maybe before I go to bed, or
and when I wake up, and then and when I eat breakfast, and then when I go to work, and then
yeah, maybe. But
see.
It's like I don't play like all the time. I just play sometimes.
You play often.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough for me.
Way. Yeah, let's put it that way.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess after the DS and after the PS2, after the Wii is now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Much.
Okay.
Time flies, huh?
Yeah. It does. But you played in arcade games in Japan before, right? Like Initial D.
I do.
Because
I love Initial D.
We scoured part of Tokyo to find Initial D. So you played Initial D in Japan?
Yeah, only once or twice. I usually play like Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
Or okay, so basically for Japanese student, like high school student, middle school students, they go to arcade, but they really plays the game. They only interested in Purikura. If anyone knows Purikura, it's like a photo booth.
Yeah, it's like the pretty kuras, the cute pictures you take, and it looks like you're wearing makeup, but you're really not because the light is so bright.
Yeah,
and and the machine really softens the image, so everyone looks like they have big eyelashes and they have big eyes, and everyone looks pretty cute.
Yeah, like for the beginning, it was okay. Like it was okay. The lightning and then the eyes makes a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
and the legs a little bit thinner. But right now, the competitive, like competition, like
yeah.
It's very like severe, like very like hard.
Okay.
So that like everyone, like every company tried to make eyes bigger and bigger, and then like the face smaller and smaller, and the legs is thinner and longer. So it's like an organ nail. Like you take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I stopped going to take a pre-cura. Like, why not you take it with your phone?
I know.
You know. Like you don't have to pay like 400 yen, which is like equal to like $4 maybe.
Yeah.
Like $3. But it's still like expensive. Like you can take a picture on your phone with a free app for free.
Yep. You can look at it later.
Yeah.
Well, some people like. I feel like a Japanese audience likes the physical aspect of it. They like to hold the pictures. From what I learned is that a lot of people in Japan, when they buy anything, they always buy like one or two of it. This is what I was told. Like if someone's really into like a CD, they would buy two, one to listen to and one to keep on the shelf to like leave it there. I think that's just only applies to otaku, like the nerdy guys. But yeah, Japanese people like to have a physical thing. Like CD sales in Japan are still a huge thing. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty interesting that, you know, the physical aspect of it is still alive somewhere. But I agree with you. Yeah. Taking it on your phone is free. Like all those features that we mentioned for Purikura, they're built into your phone now. If you do the selfie cam on any phone, you're gonna get those like big eyes, big like small face, thin stuff, like thin face, all that stuff. Like that comes built into your phone already. Like what's the point of taking it at a shop when you can do it yourself?
I know.
And things like Instagram and Snapchat make it better.
I was very surprised. Like one time, I was looking at the Instagram and I saw one of my friends in Japan post, and she said like, "Oh, I used the app to erase her tummy's fat.
Oh,
so it's make like it looks skinnier." I was like, it doesn't look like she edited like the picture. So I thought like it's very surprising that you can do it on the app.
Yeah.
You know. I used to think like you had to ask professional to do it for you.
Right.
But like these days you can do it on your phone for free, I guess.
That's
I don't
true.
know which app she used, but like it's very surprising.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with technology, right?
Yeah, it's very surprised.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your history of video games.
I hope it's not too boring.
No, I mean, I hope someone's gonna listen. I'm gonna listen. I have to edit this. So we'll move on to questions. We actually do have one question this week from Divine Eater Aron on our Discord.
Hello.
Hello, and thanks for your question, buddy.
Thank you.
And he's asking, do you guys dress up for Halloween? We don't do Halloween, so I like asking people from the States what your costume will be. From my end... Oh, I know you're from Japan, but maybe you can talk about your Japanese experience.
Okay.
And from my American experience, yes, I try to dress up almost every year. I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays of all time. Last year I was My Neighbor Totoro. Technically, I was Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro, but so most people, if I tell people, "Oh, I'm My Neighbor Totoro," they're like, "Oh, you're Totoro." I'm like, "Yeah." So I have to say I'm My Neighbor Totoro, even though that's the name of the movie and not the correct answer, but I still do it anyways. Whatever. And then last year I was the same thing, and I'm lazy, and I've been the same thing this whole time for like the past 3 years because it's easy. That's it.
Don't you want to change?
Yeah, I will change. I want to be Stitch this year.
So actually, I kind of want to ask for the audience for this. So I'm actually thinking for this year, like Halloween for this year, we're planning to costume like a same movie, like from the same movie.
Yep.
And we decided to just be like Stitch and Lilo. And then Jeremy wanted to be Stitch. And then he wanted me to be Lilo. But I thought it's not interesting. It's not fun. It's not really Halloween. It's just like normal, you know.
Okay.
So I was thinking I want Jeremy to be a Lilo, and then I want to be a Stitch.
All right. Let us know if you want to see that.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Give me your answer.
Yeah, both for me, okay? Jeremy for Lilo, and then me for Stitch. Okay, it's very important because I had to convince him to be Lilo, not Stitch.
Yep, let us know.
Well, I mean, like, he's very good at, like, copying Stitch voice, though.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know again, and I'll tell you how to let us know at the end of this podcast. Mm-hmm. But Japan, Halloween season, do you dress up usually?
Well, so it's very interesting. Like, past 5 years, the culture of Halloween in Japan became very different. So when I was growing up, I have no idea what the Halloween is, and I learned what the Halloween is once I started learning English. I learned Halloween as a culture study along with English. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense?
Yes.
And then I thought it's just like a movie or TV show thing. And then like 5 years ago, I think it was like 5 years ago, I guess, Shibuya, the huge city in Tokyo.
They have the crossing for those that are listening.
Yeah, they start the Halloween crossing, and then it started off this, how do you say, like, spread of Halloween culture, like, I would say in a bad way, because the Halloween is like, the Japanese people think Halloween is like dressing up and then march the street, but it's not that.
No. I mean, at least in America, like, at its core root, I can't really tell you exactly what Halloween is or where it came from because I would probably butcher it and get it wrong. But growing up, Halloween for us was dressing up as your favorite character or as something scary. Usually it's associated with something scary. Going to each house, knocking on the door, saying trick or treat, and they'll give you candy.
Yeah, that's it. That's a classic Halloween thing, right?
Yeah, totally. But as you get older, especially when I was in college, it was buying a bunch of candy, eating it, and watching scary movies. And that was actually the part that I didn't like the most because I don't like scary movies, and they give me like anxiety, and I get really nervous when I watch it, and my heart races. And when something finally pops up and scares you, I freak out. I literally yell out loud, like, "Oh my god!" Like I have a friend, and he loves horror movies. Like he's always like, "Oh, let's watch a horror movie together." Like he wants to see people freak out. Like he's like a masochist. People that like to see people get in pain. Yeah. He's a masochist. Sadist? Masochist. Whatever.
Well, I mean, that's the pure Halloween culture, right?
Yeah, being scary or scared.
Yeah, in Japan, it's not like that. It's like people dressing up, like especially like from like 20 years old people, like, 20s or like teenagers, like dressing up like whatever they want, like mostly zombies.
It's easy to put on makeup for that.
Yeah. So they go to like Shibuya or like big cities and just march.
That's kind of weird, and I get it because in San Francisco there used to be a Halloween parade in the Castro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. I think they ended in like 2014 or something.
Oh, that's sad.
But because people were getting hurt and stuff.
Oh no.
But it was kind of a similar thing like they did in Japan. So.
Yeah, it's like the good thing of that is that it's good for Japanese people to know what the Halloween is, but at the same time, for me, who I lived in the US, I'm like, that's not the Halloween. That's not the real Halloween.
Yeah, because I feel like the Japanese Halloween is basing it off of the American Halloween, but only certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
Not the fun stuff. Like dressing up is fun, but you're just standing there and walking around like that's stupid. You gotta get free candy.
Yeah,
it's free. Like you don't pay anything. You just say trick or treat, and then you get free candy.
Yeah, free candy, and then like carve the pumpkins.
Oh yeah. Everything pumpkin in the U.S. is also very Halloween.
Yeah. But everyone carve the pumpkins.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, like we don't like in Japan, it's very hard to get the huge pumpkin like you guys do in the U.S. But like still, we have the pumpkin called kabocha. We can carve that. Even
though it's a little bit smaller than the American pumpkins, you could still do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can still do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So Divine Aaron, thanks for your question. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Again, if you want to ask us a question or you want to shoot us a comment, please feel free to go to www.Downtime.Live. Shoot us an email at contact@Downtime.Live. You can go to our contact form on our website. On the bottom right corner is join our community. Click on the word community and you'll be automatically routed to our Discord where you can join the conversation where we talk about video games, where we talk about Terrace House, where we talk about other random stuff that has nothing to do with the video games. We're always joking around. We're always getting a few new members. So please join us, talk about stuff, and we would love to hear from you guys and hear your questions. Leave us a review on iTunes. We'll read it on the podcast and that'll be a lot of fun to hear you guys' thoughts. Other than that, any closing words, Mayu? Thanks again for coming on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And thanks, guys, for listening to our podcast this time. And then don't forget to vote either for Jeremy to be a Stitch.
Oh my god.
Or Jeremy to be a Lilo.
Yep. Yeah, you pick one. If you vote for me to be Lilo or Stitch, Mayu you get to be the other one, so let us know.
Yes.
Yeah, anyways. Mayu, thanks again for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This has been the 73rd episode of Downtime Podcast.
Isn't it 74?
74? 74? Did I say 73 or 74?
Yeah, 73rd.
Oh, alright. Thanks for correcting me. This has been podcast 74. Thanks for listening and have a good night.
Good night.